Russ and Liz Blenkinsop, and we run Lowdham Volunteers and Lowdham Flag with a colleague of ours called Peter Cross. We've always been quite active in the village and started the sort of football club and stuff. And with the pandemic, we sort of realised there was so much help that was being offered, it wasn't really being organised. And we just put together a group to try and organise all that help. And so Lowdham Volunteers was born, grew to about 200 people in total. And now it's still going in the village, helping people where we can and helping do other things in the village as well.
So yes, so we were beginning to put together a flood response of trying to get people organised, because lots of people want to volunteer for flooding, but they're doing it in the middle of an event and it's slightly chaotic. And the original idea was to try and organise that. And we started having a few conversations about it. And then COVID came along and we realised that all the volunteer response that we were talking about for flooding, we could utilise for helping the village, protect the vulnerable and keep people safe. And that's what grew into Lowdham Volunteers. So we sort of ended up organising a whole sort of organisation to put that together for the village. And then as the pandemic moved on and that was more established, we were able to go back to the flooding angle and we diverted our strengths to that. So it kind of went hand in hand, really. Yeah. It's a great community. We've lived there over 20 years and people, you can walk out into the village. The village offers everything to people. There's shops, there's doctors, there's libraries, there's walks, there's cycle rides, there's restaurants, there's everything is on your doorstep, and you have proximity to the river, and it's a beautiful location, really. And I think most people that come are very surprised what it has to offer. So we love the community spirit because there's always people out wanting to talk to you, and it's how life used to be, really. And it gives you that snapshot back into what we all enjoyed growing up, and knowing your neighbours and people caring for one another.
I think it is the way people look out for each other. That's the key thing. Loads of people volunteered and they're then out there and they want to help their neighbours, and all this business of going put on the shopping lists and stuff, it grew and snowballed. And then people just love being together, and the collapsed NHS and things, they're out there helping with it and things. And then in the flooding, we've got some great people who are doing puddle watchers now, watercourse walkers. We've got people doing photo recorders, so they're taking a snapshot of all the watercourses in the village, so you can finally see what the water's like.
At the same time.
Yeah, which is so key. So that's good fun doing that. It's amazing what skills you got in the village as well, because the people just want to help and use their skills. There's one guy even got a job from it, because he helped us and then publicised what he was doing, and a mate of his picked up on that and said, didn't know you were unemployed, sort of thing. Yeah, come and work for me. So that was a real success story. It makes you feel really good when things like that happen.
I don't necessarily think it's changed who we are. I think it's given us time to get back in touch with who we are. I think sometimes life gets so busy and you get on autopilot that all the things that you sort of would like to do, or the way you would like to think about things, gets whisked away from you because you're just so busy. And I think having that little bit more space and time is and a reason, because everybody's lives kind of calmed down. I know people were working, and for the NHS that wasn't true, but in the community they did. And I think that was nice to kind of just have that space to kind of create that with what you know yourself to be. It gave an outlet for those sort of skills, if you like.
I think I'd say just believe in yourself. I think there's always opportunities and things, and it's about taking them with both hands. There's the guy in the village who got a job through it. I think there's the wonderful new friends we've made through talking to people and then wanting to help. And I just think there's the more energy you put in, the more you get out, really. I mean, this idea of paying it forward springs to mind. I mean, it's so true. The more you give, you'll get something back somewhere. You don't know what it is, but it'll come somehow. So just keep on giving to people and think good things will happen. Simple as that.
Yeah, and look at what you can do rather than what you can't do. The news always trains your brain to think about what's wrong and what should have happened and who did what wrong, and it's always sort of almost trying to pick an argument in your brain, and then that's very I don't know, it doesn't sit comfortably with people and it agitates. Whereas I think if you focus on what you can do and what opportunities there are to do some good, then I think that really helps taking that time.
And it's working with people. It's amazing what two different approaches can meld into. Just by yourself, you can just try harder and harder and harder, but if there's two or three of you, there's a different viewpoint, and it's easier to solve things, and you get a real buzz of working together as well. So it has been quite positive. There are many positive things from this pandemic as well as the sad things.